Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hallownest! Never done that one before. Last time, we went up into the Howling Cliffs and ended up accidentally introducing a new batch of weirdos into Dirtmouth up here. And then those weirdos sent us on a quest to find flames to feed their child. I mean, I just called them weirdos. What did I expect, really? We did the first round of 3 flames, and then we got one of the second round of 3 flames, which are currently not visible because I don't have the charm on. Let me fix that right now. Get you two off. I said I was going to take you two off last time, and I never ended up doing it. Here we go. Grimchild, the charm icon, has opened its eyes a little bit. That's a change I forgot to point out. Anyway, here are the remaining 2 flames that we have. I will be sure to get these this time, as well as go down into Kingdom's Edge and finally explore these 2 places, which I've been leaving alone for so long, and I think since we have a flame to get down there, now is the perfect time to check them out, even though there was another perfect time to check them out, and that's when I was exploring the Hive and was nearby the area anyway, but ignore that, that's just how I want to structure this playthrough. I do like how Isma's Grove has a different color on the map from the rest of Waterways, and it certainly deserves a different color. The area is too cool to be lumped in with the rest of that terrible area. I'm joking, it's not that bad. I just don't like it compared to the others in this game. All right, let's get up and go. First of all, I'm gonna relocate my dream gate back up to Dirtmouth. We put it here last time for the Delicate Flower quest, but I think it is best used back up at Dirtmouth where I can have an easy warp back to the hub area of the game whenever I so wish. I finally have their journal entry. I thought I had it already, honestly. Inside these shambling corpses is a bright light that pierces any darkness. I peered inside that light once and saw something within it shining back. Something terrible. It's the light of the infection, and there's something within it, orchestrating the whole thing. Take the plunge of the nail into the ground. That's all I had to say with that, really. Since I've gone to the trouble of making my way back up to this point in the map, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go for the flame in the King's Pass, since I'm nearby. But before I do that, I do kind of want to change my charms. I know one charm that I want to show off. Now that we've upgraded Vengeful Spirit into the Shade Soul, Flukenest will be behaving a little differently, since it's based off of that. And then, because there's no reason not to, let's put on Unbreakable Greed and get even more Geo. Even more Geo than we need. I haven't shown Shape of Un yet, so you could do that. Is there any charm I haven't shown yet? Maybe I'd like to overcharm myself a little bit to do so? I don't think so. I think I'm all caught up with new charms. I think it was just this and Shape of Un we got last time. So I guess, why not Dream Wielder? I don't know why I keep breaking those 2 statues towards the exit. I just do. I do it every time I pass by. It's fun. That's why. Oh, the Crawlets now drop 3 and you drop 4. That's actually kind of cool. Like, you get 1 more Geo from every basic enemy you kill. That could add up over time. Is the flame here? Yes, it is. I'm actually curious. Now that I equipped Dream Wielder and put the thought in my head, do you guys have Dream Nail dialogue? I need to find some way. Okay. Crap, okay. I need to find, like, some way to hit you with a Dream Nail, and I think my best chance is after one of the fireball attacks, like that. Use it! There we go. So dark, burn brighter. Well, yeah, I need your flame in order to do that, so give it to me already. That's cool. I actually didn't know they had Dream Nail dialogue, but it makes sense. Every enemy does. Except for a few of the early game bosses, I would assume anyway, because you can't see it back then, like Hornet. Speaking of which, after I beat this guy, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. I've started a second playthrough to go along with this one. And the reason why is because there's a few encounters and various other tidbits around the game that I am unable to see on this file anymore because either I've progressed things too far or I've made certain decisions. And so, I've decided to make a second playthrough where we're going to see the alternate decision. There's my upgraded Shade Soul Flukenest. The only difference is the number of flukes that come out. They are now 16 flukes instead of 9. They deal the same damage as the old flukes did, which is 4 per hit. But whatever 4 times 16 is, yeah, that's how much total damage we're supposed to be dealing right now. There's a little asterisk attached to that I will go over later. I should have put on Gathering Swarm. I need Gathering Swarm, especially with Fragile Greed on. Oh, here's the Shape of Un form. So you can see that whenever you take a hit, you do stop moving, and then whenever you transform, you are unable to move during that time. But once you're, like, actively healing, charging the thing up, that's when you can move. It's a little weird, kind of hard to get used to, but it can certainly help. Anyway, about my second playthrough. There are a couple of encounters or like alternate dialogue things that we could have seen throughout the beginning of the game, but for one reason or another, we didn't see them. So, I'll be showing those right now. First of all, here's me going to get Fury of the Fallen as the first charm of the game. If you walk right past Elderbug without talking to him at the very start of the game, he, like, calls after you, and then when you go back to talk to him later, he'll say, like, hey, you just walked right by without saying hello. In the False Knight's battle, there is a secret. Notice this decayed-looking block up here? Well, once you progress the fight far enough, that is, you have to get through the first cycle. I'm just gonna do it real quick. You can see how fast this guy falls when you stay close to him like that. There we go. And then eventually, pow, 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 pow. After his little tantrum here, you'll see some of the boards are broken off. Now, this thing is breakable. You can break open the door and leave the fight without killing him. You can skip the False Knight if you want. I don't see any real reason to do it. I mean, he's easy, so you may as well finish him off, but it's cool that they added a secret skip like that, though this is the only boss in the game that can be skipped in such a way. Otherwise, if you were to skip a boss, you'd have to take a completely different route around the game to avoid them. But yeah, if you want to, no need to fight False Knight. Or no need to defeat False Knight. You still have to fight him at least to get that far. After being captured by the Vengeful Spirit and locked inside of the Ancestral Mound, talking to the Snail Shaman here wakes him up. But if you don't talk to him, he stays asleep. Any day now. Any day. Any day now. There we go. That took a long time, man. If you defeat the beast without waking the Snail Shaman up down below, his dialogue will be different. Aha, there you are. I was watching over you while you slept and must have slipped away myself. I woke up and found you disappeared. You're a surprising one. Actually, I wanted to ask a small favor of you. You see, there's a certain creature lurking just above us in the heart of this temple. Oh, well, yet another surprise. You've slain that creature before I've even asked. I scarcely deserve such a friend as you. You're a marvel. And look, the gate between us is open. I love that this dialogue has changed. They actually thought of people doing that. That's so cool. As a bonus, I'm gonna go fight Brooding Malek as my first boss kill. Okay, that's a good start. There we go. I do have Vengeful Spirit for this, but I'm going to not use it to make the fight be what it would be like if you just went in here right out of the start of the game. So, nail only for this one. Okay. Like I said, when you don't have dash, an alternative to dodging over the, or dodging underneath those fireballs from the ceiling is bouncing along at the top. Okay. This is such a fun challenge to do. I definitely recommend it to anyone who's played this game a million times and is looking for ways to spice up their next playthroughs. Oh god. Really demonstrates your mastery over the Brooding Malek. Okay, there we go. And the boss fights in general. There we go. Honestly, no, the fireball's coming out of the top there. Prevent you from bouncing along the top. Ow. There we go. Wasn't actually that bad. Didn't feel like it had a lot of health, even though this is like literally base nail. And right away, Mask Shard. Before even leaving the crossroads. Oh, you're back. You walked straight past me and descended down into the ruins without even saying hello. I thought maybe I'd seen a ghost. Mine sometimes plays tricks on you when you spend a lot of time alone. The other residents, they've all disappeared, headed down that well in caverns below. He doesn't dislike you that much for it, thankfully. After obtaining the dash, Zote appears in Dartmouth, very briefly, and then a little bit later he disappears, and I completely forgot to show this, but my god, this encounter is awesome. I'm so sad I didn't show it in the main series. You there! Why are you skulking about in the shadows? Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. I am Zote the Mighty, a knight of great renown. Tremble before me! While you are hiding here in your dingy little village, I ventured into the dark pit below us and slew a great beast. It had sharp mandibles and atrocious manners. Yes, all glory to me, but I don't have time for your adulation. I must rest and prepare for my next journey down. That daft old fellow over there, he keeps talking absolute drivel. Seems to think the very air is deadly down to the caverns. Perhaps you should consider not breathing. Keeps talking about dreams, too. Dreams are for those too feeble to truly live. What a squalid little hamlet this is. The air is foul and the townsfolk have beady eyes. I'll be heading back down below as soon as possible. Perhaps you should consider not breathing has to be the best Zote line in this game, aside from the precepts, of course. If you choose to skip the false night, you may run into an obstacle here. You need the city crest to open this up, and without it, I can't get into City of Tears through the main entrance. Fortunately, there are other ways into City of Tears. Problem is that the way I want to do things here makes it so I can't go through them. So, I'm just going to be unable to access City of Tears for a large part of this playthrough, I guess. But hey, that just goes to show how varied a Hollow Knight playthrough can be. No two playthroughs of this game are ever the same. As of this point, I have obtained the Dream Nail, and if you return to the False Knight boss that you may have skipped earlier, there should be some special Dream Nail dialogue to see. Apparently the fight restarts from the beginning, makes enough sense. The boards are even back up and everything. Can you break through this a second time? I wonder. Or maybe I'll find out. Alright, first of all though. Yeah, I'm braver than all of you! Are we sure about that? This great shell, it belongs to me! I'm the strongest now! Ordinarily, you would not be able to see this. I'm not sure if there's like a couple other bosses. Like, I'm not sure if Hornet has Dream Nail dialogue, because you cannot, she's a required boss, and you cannot fight her before getting the Dream Nail, so, or you cannot fight her after getting the Dream Nail, so yeah. Seems like that's all you say? There's one little extra thing though, but first we gotta beat him. You can easily just hit him during this part. Oh my god, I was trying to blast Soul, I wasn't working. You can also even hit the rocks into him. Yeah, it doesn't break a second time. So the second time you fight False Knight, you have to beat him. That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't know about that little detail. I don't know what good that'll do me, basically nothing. So hit, dodge away. You can even like go back in for hits if you really want to. Duck in and out. Notice the floor starts to break the second time. That's a little detail showing that he's about to break through the floor after the third one. Like so! The fight will always end after the third cycle. Even though he starts to go through the tantrum, he'll fall through the floor afterwards. Are you sure? Oh, wow, we even got to see his journal entry added, which ordinarily doesn't happen because you don't have the Hunter's Journal yet. Remember that his mace gets up and walks away eventually, because it is actually a bug attached to the end of a stick. The mace bug has Dream Nail dialogue, and I'm gonna see if I can show it. Free at last. Indeed, little guy. Let me... Free at last. Okay, that might be all it says. I'll check the wiki if there's any more. You can also find Zote in this walkway in the City of Tears, the one that connects the Soul Sanctum building to this upper part. I haven't bothered to buy the quill yet, that's why my map looks like this. The reason why he didn't appear for me is because I went into Deepnest, found him trapped there, and saved him there. And that's the next big step on his quest line, and so me doing that caused him to stop appearing everywhere else he can. Let's talk to him. Oi, watch where you're going, you soggy vagabond. I don't want you splashing me. I've had a miserable time trying to keep dry. I am Zote the Mighty, a knight of great renown. If I decide that I'm going to stay dry, then that's what's going to happen. Curse this wretched city. Water and monsters constantly fall from above. It's no wonder this blasted kingdom fell to ruin. Monsters falling from above? You got the wrong area, buddy. That's just next door. You can see a little seam in the texture of the bridge below us. Don't look too closely at that, or else the beautiful artwork in this game is gonna be ruined forever in your eyes. Have you seen them? The guards who still patrol the city, even after dying? Being overly devoted to one's duties is no virtue. Alright, whatever you say, man. Hope you enjoyed that. Now, I'll be on my way down to Kingdoms, actually. Kingdoms, actually. Now that we have the Shade Soul, the dude, the Snail Shaman. Why is it taking me so long to remember people's names sometimes? I don't know. The Snail Shaman should have something to say about it, so let's go stop by his place. What's this? My vengeful gift has warped within you. You've twisted into something else. Oh, I knew it, my friend. You're a marvel. Your essence has melded with the spell. You must have found a powerful source to transform it in such a unique, expressive way. Yeah, a very unique, loud, jump scare-ish way as well. You don't comment on the fact that I've also transformed it into worms, do you? Like that? Okay, no, you don't. I kind of wish you did. That would be pretty cool. While I'm here, I want to swap on freaking Gathering Swarm. Dreamwielder is nice to have. It's not as nice to have as the other thing is, so yeah, I'm immediately going back on my Dreamwielder decision. It is worth noting you cannot overcharm if you don't have any empty notches. So right now, I can't even try to equip any of these other charms. The way it needs to work is you have to have a slot open right there to fit anything you want onto it. But as long as you have at least one notch free, you can then cram an extra charm on and overcharm yourself. I would love to go over to the Stag Station and take that down to get to Kingdom's Edge quicker, but unfortunately, some brilliant game designers thought it would be a good idea to block the fucking passageway, so now I must take the long way around. Except I guess I can't just take the long way around, it's not that bad. It's either this or trudging back up to Dartmouth and using their station, which might be quicker, but I don't really know. Oh, yes. Yes, that is so nice. Having the frickin' Geo come to me without me having to do anything. I love not needing to work for my rewards. I love to go up to the Stag Station, but some brilliant game designers put up a blockade in the 2 ways to take you there from where I was. This is why this place gets on my nerves so much. Wait a minute. Look at this sign. I've never noticed this tiny sign before. What is that? Is that indicating the village where Salubra's charm shop is? I think it is. That is adorable. I've never seen that sign before, noticed that sign before. I've probably seen it, just didn't know it was a sign because it's so small. I love it when those guys run off screen, you feel the earthquake, and then if you have Gathering Storm on, you get their Geo. It's so funny. There's another sign. Oh my god, they actually, like, put it outside of where the village is supposed to be. This game just gets better and better the more I play it. Finally made it. Only took 17 hours. I'm kidding, it was like 3 minutes, but you know. 3 minutes of wandering through infected crossroads that I wouldn't have had to do otherwise. I'm sure you can understand, I would want to have less infected crossroads wandering in the future. Thank you. Before I leave this room, there is a secret here. There's a secret item to collect within the Stag Station. Can you guess where it is? Yup! If you think to jump above the room and bounce along the spikes, you get a Hallownest seal for your curiosity. That has to be one of my favorite secret items in the game. I did not find that on my own in my first playthrough. I saw it in a video and then I ended up going for it later. Alright. As we may know, King Station is not only a nice travel into City of Tears, but it is also the most convenient travel station to get yourself into Kingdom's Edge, once you know that this passageway down here exists. Ooh, okay, here's the question. Since we're right underneath it, I suppose we could start with this before even going for the flame. I don't know if I would want to have Grimchild on for it, but will I have much say in the matter? I mean, I suppose I can bring Grimchild in. I don't see why not, really. Oh my god! Thank you, Grimchild. You stopped that thing from screaming for the billionth time. Those bellflies get really annoying over time. The more you encounter them, each and every one of them goes, ah! That's the closest I can get to mimicking their scream anyway. I also kind of spat all over the place. I didn't need to tell you that, but I chose to anyway. Here we are. Locked padded door. Use the love key. I don't know how I feel about this place being called the Tower of Love and there being a grub in here with someone very excited to see them. Ooh, there's a jar in the foreground and it hides me. Except, no, it's barely translucent. You can see my little face. That's pretty cool. Break out the corpse. Break out the Vengefly, I guess. Break you out. Whoever this is certainly liked to collect all sorts of things, including air. Let's get that air free. What if it was like ammonia or something, and now we're breathing in ammonia and dying from poison? Why are you looking aggressive? You're looking like you're already free and trying to chase me, when the other one was more passive, more docile looking. They've heard us. What have you done with the grubs? I'm not sure how to respond to that laugh. The Collector is a weird boss. Not only just a weird creature in general, but the way he fights is really weird. He sends his collection of stored minion enemies after you, and then he hops around the room very jolly-like, laughing as he goes. The 3 enemies he can spawn are, okay, they are Balders, Aspid Hunters, as well as Vengeflies. That's basically it. If your nail isn't that strong and it takes you 2 hits to kill these guys, this fight can be pretty hard. But if you upgrade the nail 1 more time than I have, you'll kill all of these enemies in 1 hit, and this boss will turn from pretty hard to actually very easy. It's kind of a DPS check in that way, similar to Flukenest. As you've been seeing, the Collector will occasionally jump for you. When he's hopping around normally, he'll hop an equal distance every single time, not really paying attention to you, but when he comes after you, that's when he'll hop towards you. That's when he actually watches for your position. Alright, he's gonna jump into the black flukes there. The shadowy flukes. We staggered in there, but I did not use it to heal because I wasn't really thinking straight. It's fine, there are a lot of enemies around. I swear, the Balders are probably the worst enemy he can spawn. Like, the Aspids can shoot projectiles, but at least they stay back, but the Balders create a ton of obstacles on the ground, so whenever he spawns a lot of those at once, it ain't pretty. Ow. Owie. Gotta fix my headset in the middle of the battle. Okay. I keep trying to chase after the enemies, but... well, like, I keep trying to shoot out a thing to go after the enemies, forgetting I have Flukenest on, and it's not as effective at doing that. Okay, I need to heal next time he's staggered, because, man, I've been taking hurt. Okay, I've really been taking hurt. When you pay enough attention, it is easy to just dash out of the way of his swipe, but apparently I haven't been paying good enough attention. No, honestly, I wouldn't mind dying to this battle, because dying to this battle actually has kind of a unique effect that I'd like to show, maybe. If that happens, it might happen. I'm gonna keep fighting, but I'll accept the death if it comes. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. There we go. And the boulders keep, like, stopping in place at the most random times, and it's really annoying. Okay, there's another stagger. I did not use it to heal because, again... Alright, this is the point in the phase where he starts bringing... the phase of the fight where he starts bringing out 3 enemies every time he goes up in the ceiling. Oh, God. Okay. I'm probably just gonna win this, aren't I? Alright. Seems like it. Seems so. Let me just heal up in case he has any, like, desperation moves. And then... pound him into dust! There he goes. I like how Grimchild only joined in as I went for him. Grimchild had some mercy at least, whereas I did not. That was that fight. Let's read his journal entry before I forget to, and then have to remember to do so later at a completely unrelated time. Dark figure locked inside the Tower of Love preserves Hallownest's creatures in glass jars with particular attention given to grubs. We've found the perpetrator and given him his well-deserved justice. A shadow that sometimes flits through the caverns, making strange noises to itself. I've never seen it clearly, so I have no idea what type of creature it is. There's another element with this guy that I forgot to go over. Hitting him does not give you soul. Only hitting the enemy he spawns gives you soul. He's some kind of dark, shadowy void creature. And apparently, dark, shadowy void creatures don't give soul. That would make sense. Soul is kind of the bright white substance, and the void creatures are the opposite of that. If you die to the Collector, one of these jars outside of his fight will have your shade inside of it. He collects your shade. That's pretty cool. Nice way to set this boss apart. Now, keep going up, and we find not one, not two, but 3 grubs he's had kept here this entire time. Not only that, but he has a great view into the City of Tears. It's like built into the wall. Again, I would love to see what this looks like in a 3D space. It's facing, so we're like right here. This is facing the tower containing King's Station at the bottom. Oh man, the world spaces are so cool. Oh yeah, the bright white shiny object behind me, that too. Taken the Collector's map. Hold the quick map button to show a map of the current area. Whoa! The locations of imprisoned grubs will be displayed. Our final upgrade to the map. It now marks the locations of grubs with pins. Let's see, which ones am I missing from any of the early areas? I feel like I've been thorough. I think I've gotten most of them, but let's see. Okay, so we have one here in Deepnest. They're not on the map legend yet, the key. Maybe they go there eventually. Okay, there's 2 in Deepnest I don't have. And is that it? Oh, there's one. Oh my god, there's one in the Hive. I remember that one, and I think I meant to get that one on the first visit, but I went past completely forgetting it. Alright, well, seems like according to the map, those are the final 3 grubs we have to save in the entire game. So, one of our remaining objectives has now become, get to the last 3 grubs as soon as possible. Or actually, not as soon as possible. They can wait a little bit. They've been in those cages long enough, and all of the grubs we've seen everywhere else have been fine. So those ones will probably last as well. God, it would be the most cruel thing if somewhere in the world was a grub inside of a jar that had died, kind of like the corpses that you freed from the jars here. God, imagine that. They would, or especially if it was like timed and you could have saved it if you had gotten there earlier in the game, but if you progress far enough, it eventually dies inside the jar and then you don't. Oh man, you'd have to like tell Grubfather about it. Oh, that would be terrible. I'm glad that didn't end up in the game. Hello? I don't remember you. I don't remember you falling down. I don't think the ones that fall down have Dreamnail dialogue. Grimchild, there is no need for the violence. I'll just take this guy out ahead of time so he doesn't have to feel the slow burns of 1,000 suns from your flame. This guy is in quite the inconvenient location. I recommend taking him down to the bottom. It is much easier to fight him down here. I think, anyway. Okay, you can... Ow. You can take him over here for the most footing. Okay, I forgot I have this Charmon still. Alright, there you go. Try to blast you with as much as I can. Unfortunately, you're in the wall, so most of the grubs couldn't hit. Thanks, buddy. Gonna hit you with a nail art next time. Being hit cancels your nail art charge, just as it is to say. Alright, there we go. I can hit you with more of them now. Nope. Alright, cool. That takes him out. I thought it would. Flukenest does a lot of damage. That is the 3rd of this round of flames consumed by Grimchild. Now, as on topic as it would be to head back up to the Grim Troop and hand in these next 3 flames, I think I'm gonna wait on this one for a very specific reason. You might be able to guess what that reason is. Oh my god, okay. I killed that one guy with the 3rd shockwave. That was really helpful. In the meantime, I want to show something weird about Flukenest. And I think it is easiest to demonstrate this on the Great Hoppers over here. The Great Hoppers have 130 health. Okay, Shade Soul Flukenest deals 64 damage in total if every single grub hits. Now, let's fight this Great Hopper and see. I only cast the thing once, and it killed him. The reason why this happens, for whatever reason, the hitboxes of the flukes, whenever they hit something really quickly, they linger there in the air, and it's possible for the enemy to jump out and jump back through them, taking another round of damage. So basically, I shoot this guy, and then he jumps up back into the invisible hitboxes that are lingering way longer than they should be, and he takes another set of damage and dies from it. Flukenest is a little buggy in that way. I say that it deals total of 64 damage, that's how much it's supposed to deal, but it actually ends up dealing more than that in a lot of cases because of this bug. In that case, Flukenest is really, really freaking good. It deals a lot more damage than it was intended to, so yeah, hopefully that'll encourage you to try the charm out a little bit more. All right, where I'm off to next is this area. This area down here, sadly, still has a shadow barrier, and we still don't have the ability to go through those. I'm playing extremely recklessly against those guys, don't mind me. Remember that when I came through here the first time, I never bothered going down this way, and that's because we could have gone up here the entire time. Since we first entered Kingdom's Edge, we had already obtained the double jump, and double jump is all you need to access this. Though you do need double jump. You can't, Can you bounce off of the Primal Aspid? You might be able to bounce off of the Primal Aspid to make your way up here. That said, though, it's a very precise jump, and so you're definitely intended to have double jump in order to come up here. Up here is a bench up above, apparently, with a crooked side. I don't know how much we could trust that. Oh, but when it was standing up straight, it was just pointing up to this breakable wall that I started breaking. So yeah, not really any difference there. Hello. We have a large tent of 2 people who camped all the way out here in Kingdom's Edge, and then their tent got ripped open and they died. Perhaps we shouldn't spend that much time here in case whatever that was that ripped over their tent comes back for us. I'm gonna take off Grimchild for now. I'm also gonna take off, I almost said Fragile Greed, but that's quite literally not what it is. Flukenest as well can go. I'll keep Shape of Un. Let's put on Quick Focus, because there is a special charm combination with Quick Focus and Shape of Un. Quick Slash, Grub Song. Let's go with that. I love the sound of Grimchild disappearing in a flash. What do you guys say? This ash. Trapped. What, did the ash kill you or something? Wait, do I still have Gathering Storm on? Okay, take this off and put on Dreamwielder instead, because I might use Dreamwielder in what's coming up next. You might be able to guess, based on how I've been building it up, what's coming up next. Through this corridor. Get it? Corridor? Because that was a door I went through, not a corridor. Hiya! I do love these plants. I don't know what these are supposed to be like. They look like roots of something. They look like the little golden sprouts that you get golden seeds from in Elden Ring. I've always really liked this aesthetic going along with all the white glows, the ash coming from the ceiling. Kingdom's Edge has to be one of my favorite aesthetics in this game because, you know, it's not blue. So yeah, it sets it apart. It's still a little bit gray, but, you know, looks awesome. There's a lot of variety within the space itself. You have, like, the more dull-looking areas down here. There's an acid pool up here, which gives it its own little flavor. There's this area down here. There's the giant beehive you see. Now, Kingdom's Edge has to be one of my favorite areas visually, for sure. And that one tent with the bench was another really cool location. Long time no see. I apologize on behalf of the Hunter's Journal for spoiling this encounter. So, you pursue the deeper truth. It isn't one the weak could bear. Prove yourself ready to face it. I'll not hold back. My needle is lethal and I feel no sadness in a weakling's demise. Show me you can accept this kingdom's past and claim responsibility for its future. Oh god, responsibility? I can't do that, but I can at least beat you in your boss fight. Hornet's second boss fight, officially known as Hornet Sentinel. Quite a bit harder than the first one, and the first one was already a huge challenge. Her attacks are much faster. Oh my god, yeah, seriously, so much faster. You have to have much faster reaction times versus them. She also had that new ability, the guard ability, similar to how the Hollow Knight was doing, If you hit her while she's guarding, she will counterattack with an upward swipe. It's not that dangerous, you can get out of range of it really quickly, but it does happen. See, like that. Very easy to avoid, just dash backwards if you feel that you've hit her while guarding. After a while, she'll start putting up these spike walls. Do know, or the spike walls, those are not walls, spike balls. Do know you can hit them away with your nail. Though, don't take that as an excuse to hit away every single one as soon as possible, because you'll just be distracted from the rest of her attacks. Alright, there we go. You just have to avoid them otherwise. As you can imagine, they deal damage if you hit them. I think that's the first hit I've taken. No, it's not. This is the second hit. Okay, there we go. Remember, you can bounce off of her nail when she throws it like that in the boomerang? You shouldn't need to, though, because you need double jump for this place. You have so many more movement abilities than you did the first time we fought Hornet. Alright, I haven't been getting much use out of Shape of Fun in this battle because she staggers, and that's the perfect time for me to heal. Already? What? I wanted to keep fighting! That was... That's the problem with me upgrading so much. The bosses are gonna last such little time now. I guess I wasn't holding back as much as I usually do in this playthrough. From where does it draw this strength? Sheer willpower, I guess. So strong. You could do it, if you had the will. But could you raise your nail once knowing its tragic conception? And knowing yourself? Then do it, Ghost of Hallownest. Head onward. Burn that mark upon your shell, and claim yourself as king. Oh god, more responsibilities. I forgot about that part of this whole deal. Well, nothing left to do but see where this intense wind is coming from. Wonder if there's a connection there. The cast-off shell. Folks around these parts have mentioned that a worm came into this part, then died. But as a part of the worm's death, it cast off this shell and then rebirthed itself in a new form. A new form that would later create Hallownest. Marked by King's brand, Hallownest shall recognize a new ruler. The kingdom's gates will open. This is quite an unexpected development. I didn't expect to become the next king of Hallownest. I mean, the first king's gone, so who's gonna replace them, I guess? Or replace him, rather. I just noticed the A is overlapping the R there. That's pretty interesting. Upon collecting this, the shell starts to collapse. If you don't want to take damage in this part, do a super dash. And the falling debris will not hit you. That one will, though, but that's scripted. Thank you, Hornet. After that encounter, this area of the world is blocked off forever. There is no revisiting the cast-off shell. It's one of the few places you can't go back to after you're done with whatever it has. I think it, honestly, in terms of the world space and, like, you know, exploring this main map, it's the only place like that. That's pretty unique. Well, you know, aside from the doorways that take you up to the stag station and infected crossroads, but, those don't really count. You can still get to the rooms if you go the long way around, because, you know, that's necessary and all. Alright, I'll stop fuming about that. I never ended up using Dreamwielder, so off it goes in exchange for Gathering Swarm once again. Sorry, Dreamwielder, you just keep getting shafted this episode. Okay, now that we've done that, the King's brand can be used somewhere. Somewhere where we have seen its the pattern before. So let me take a look at it in the inventory, see what its description says. Marks the bearer as king. Hallownest's ancient places shall open before it. Ancient places, kind of like an ancient basin that might have something down there we haven't seen yet. Might have a locked chamber in its deepest parts. Let's go check it out. Made it down to the station just in time. The tram has arrived. I know there's no one actually operating it. I just like to pretend that this world is still lively and beautiful as it once was. I mean, it's beautiful, but... and kind of lively in a weird way, but, you know, definitely not the same. It's not actually, like, you know, a society anymore. Hi-yah! It was a very delayed hi-yah, but I said it anyway. Aw, you can't break this. Disappointing. I feel like I said that in an early video, and now I can't remember. Bounce off those spikes just to look fancy, and nothing more, because I feel like it. Down here. Remember this? Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Our pure vessel has ascended. Beyond lies only the refuse and regret of its creation. We shall enter that place no longer. No matter how long you've played this game, no matter how much you've explored, the world just keeps going deeper. And I love that aspect about it. I've already said how great this game's exploration is in the way that it hides areas from you and then makes them such a huge surprise when you finally find them, and this is one of the ways in which that's accomplished. Ancient Basin feels like the deepest part of the map by far, whereas previously, Fungal Wastes felt like the deepest part of the map, or perhaps even City of Tears, or, if you found them before then, Royal Waterways feels like the deepest part of the map. Then you find Ancient Basin, it's very spooky, definitely feels like you can't go any further down, and then, this late in the game, you get the King's Brand, you open up the door, and you see this. I love this moment. It's incredibly ominous. And as you keep falling down, you keep killing these enemies, you keep collecting this geo, there appears to be no end. It's still going. And perhaps that's because what's waiting for you at the bottom is not the most pleasant sight. And the game's trying to hide it from you as long as it can. Or, not really the game, the world. Destroyed those with one upward slash, that was pretty fun. I like how that guy died on the edge. Just the littlest bit of force applied to his body and he would tip over and fall. Well, down here, yet another geopile. Yet more familiar looking dead bodies on the top there. That sign said that the vessel was created down here. And now, their pure vessel has ascended. That vessel being the Hollow Knight, which they took to the temple, locked inside, to attempt to seal the infection. Or seal away, contain the infection. Like we've been over in the previous video, and the video before that. The memorial to the Hollow Knight in the City of Tears claimed that the Hollow Knight's sacrifice was the only one. And when you make it down here, you will see that is anything but true. Welcome to the Abyss. It might look scary, but to the main character, it's very familiar. Down here is a new enemy. These are known as siblings. They are shades of the many vessel corpses found down here. Fragment of a lingering will. We must defeat 23 more to learn more about them. The name sibling is no mistake. These are our siblings. This is our home. This is where we came from. We are one of the many vessels created alongside the Hollow Knight. The vessels were living creatures created by the King and the Queen of Hallownest using the power of the Void, which is something we're going to be seeing for ourselves very shortly. Despite supposedly being, like, manufactured beings, they are still life forms. And after the Hollow Knight was taken out of the Abyss to be put into the temple, all of the rest of the vessels were left down here to die. I'm not sure how our little vessel got out, because clearly they were roaming outside of the Kingdom of Hallownest before the game started. They came in with through the Howling Cliffs after the Hollow Knight called out. So I have no idea how we got out of the Abyss, but we must have found some way, and clearly a few other vessels did. Remember Broken Vessel? The boss fight of Ancient Basin? That was a vessel that somehow escaped the Abyss, only to die and then get taken over by infection to fight us. To the left here, another dark hallway. as is the case for a place named the Abyss. Soon I'm gonna let you listen to the ambience down here. It's pretty freaking cool. Or actually, how about not soon? How about right now? This ambience is so cool, and it's a crime that it only gets a cameo appearance on the Hollow Knight soundtrack. I'll talk more about that later. Our voices will cry out again, is what happens if you dream nail the invisible being in the center of the room. You're dream nailing all the things in the back, but you know what I mean. I wonder if this is the vessel saying this, and judging by what you have to do here, it probably is. The last spell upgrade, Abyss Shriek. The other ones were just howling, and now we're shrieking. I wonder how loud that must be. Good thing it isn't actually a shriek noise. The Howling Wraith is now significantly bigger and deals damage in 4 bursts. Let me look up the numbers real quick. The Howling Wraith dealt 13 damage each hit, and it hit 3 times, so that was a total of 39 damage. Or 60 damage total with Shaman Stone equipped. The Abyss Shriek hits 4 times and deals 20 damage per hit for a total of 80 damage, which is then increased to a total of 120 damage with Shaman Stone equipped. It is true that, like, the other 2 spells are so damaging in comparison to Vengeful Spirit, because they're the much more situational ones. They're a bit harder to use effectively, because Vengeful Spirit is just a prrr, and then those 2 are like the upward and downward direction, and it's a little harder to use them that way. The siblings, I don't believe, give you any soul, do they? Nope. Just like the Collector, creatures made of void do not give soul. It's weird that the only other enemy in the game to not give you soul like this is the False Knight, despite the False Knight not being a soul creature. It's just hitting the armor of the False Knight doesn't give you soul. Hitting the maggot inside the False Knight certainly does. Anyway, now we have all 3 spells upgraded to their Shadow 4, except for Focus. Focus doesn't get a shadowy upgrade, sadly. But something else does. And I'd say we haven't even seen the best of the Shadow upgrades yet. Hi there! You're a new enemy, or more accurately, a new hazard. Yeah, you even take like the spike damage hit type thing when you get hit by them. Those are Void Tendrils. They're just spikes. I mean, they take those void pools and then they stick spikes out of them, writhing around in the void like that. It's clearly some creatures living down there that don't seem to like us for whatever reason, even though this is our home. Maybe we've been out too long. We've been infected by the outside world, and so they don't trust us anymore. It's like when you send one of your cats to a vet, and then your other cat smells that cat and smells all the vet smells, and then doesn't want to associate with them anymore. You smell like vet, go away! More siblings down here floating around this tower. Out this way, you can see huge void tendrils, where if we try to crystal hard across this gap, they stop us. No way to do that as of right now. Let's go up here. Hit you guys to death. Oh yeah, and if your siblings hit you, they deal 2 damage, so make sure that doesn't happen. A lot more damage than your shade would. Far down below us, beneath the kingdom, the air grows stiller and a sense of emptiness pervades. Can life flourish down there? If so, I will hunt it. I don't know if you'd call this life, but it's about the closest thing you're gonna get. I've seen this nimble little creature. I thought her prey and pounced at her, but with a flash she stabbed me with her flying stinger and darted away. As she should! Could she be a hunter? Maybe in the sequel. Whenever that happens, I should go over that at some point. The story about how that sequel was conceived, because it's actually pretty interesting. You know what? It's been long enough, and we fought her second battle. Let me just say it right now. One of the Hollow Knight Kickstarter's stretch goals was to fund an expansion, a DLC expansion, separate from the 4 that we ended up getting in the end, that would involve you playing as Hornet traveling through a new land. If it sounds familiar, that's because the scope of that project got so large they eventually decided to turn it into the game's upcoming sequel, Hollow Knight Silksong. Silksong has been in development for almost a decade, and we have no news on if it's coming out soon. And everyone is very, very sad about this. I just say, give it time. Like, I definitely understand if it's been so long, some people aren't even hyped for it anymore, but I say give it time. Clearly, Team Cherry have a real problem with scope creep, and so they're trying to manage it. They're trying to manage their game's scope right now. I'm sure they're finding the game incredibly difficult to develop because they love to just make things as huge as possible for no real reason. Oh my god, okay. In fact, there could be a strong argument made that maybe Hollow Knight is too big a game and Team Cherry should have made it a bit smaller, but even then, it's a fantastic game, unlike other games that have certainly suffered from scope creep, like Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. This is an interesting little tower that has a lantern in it, a huge lantern, as well as 2 jars of soul. This is the guy running it, he's dead now, and there seems to be void leaking out of his eyes. That's probably what's happening there. The painting might have just been the paint running from the dampness of the City of Tears. Turn it off? Cannot. My king, I'm sorry. The sea calls. What I think this is referring to is this guy was sent down here by the King of Hallownest to keep the void at bay. Because if you hit this lever, the lantern will light. And this is what you need to do to get those void tendrils out of your way. The light will essentially hold the void back. This guy was instructed to keep this lantern lit as long as he could. But apparently, by being down here for so long, the void was calling out to him and encouraging him to turn it off. And then he did, and now he's been taken over by void. That's what happens, I guess. Now the void tendrils are gone from here, and this is safe water to swim through. You can even see a layer of light on the surface of the water. I actually didn't fully notice that before. That's pretty cool. It's much faster if you crystal heart across this gap, but I chose not to. And I'm sure that there will be void tendrils blocking this entire passageway, so no passing until you turn on that light. It's an easy objective, though. You just climb up those stairs. The platforming stairs, the parkour stairs, and you can get up to it. Hit that. Well, guess we're not going that way. We go up here. Well, guess we're not going that way. For a little while. Down here, you can hear the glinting of an item. But there's also this. This statue might be an homage to the Chozo statues from Metroid. Since, you know, this game's a Metroidvania, so it has a very obvious inspiration like that. If you try to dream nail it... Okay, nothing happens down here. Try to dream nail it. Never mind. Gotta go through this first. Gotta take your shadow bath! Absorbed the Shade Cloak. Now, every time we dash, we will have invincibility frames. Our dash has been upgraded to a Dark Souls dodge! With a catch. It has a short cooldown. Whenever those dark particles around us enter us once more, that's how you know that we have the ability to shadow dash again. If you dash in between the cooldown, your subsequent dashes will act the same as normal dashes. Why is this important? You're about to see. If you dream nail the head, nothing happens, but an interesting little pattern shows up. This might be another mind that is too strong to enter, just like the guy up here in Palace Grounds. The corpse in white armor that we were unable to dream nail. Boom! That was the most lame noise I could have possibly made doing that. Like, what the fuck? Alright, if you dash through that, if you demonstrate your knowledge of this ability you've just acquired, or whatever, you get an arcane egg. And then you can go up here, dash through this, finally! Oh my god, it's been so long. We can go so many places in the world now. I love it. An imprint of abyss given form. Reading this panel lets you see the Void Tendrils journal entry. The bugs of Hallownest sometimes wondered whether there were other older, stranger kingdoms deep below them. What strange fancies they had. That's probably why they were always so distracted and easy to kill. Hey man, they're interested in history. It's very good for people to be interested in history. Otherwise, the world was just constantly going the same cycle. And no one will ever learn anything. No one will ever learn from the past. No one will ever learn from past mistakes and whatnot. I meant for that to sound a lot more like noble and smart sounding, and then it sounded like that, so hope you enjoyed. Love how the curveball stopped my charge there. That is almost everything there is to do in the Abyss. That's really what the Abyss is here for. The Shadow upgrade to the Abyss Streak and the Shadow Dash, which we can now use elsewhere in the world. As well as, you know, the huge lore implications that the place has I've just been over. Aside from that, though, that's all this area really is. It's very small, and I kind of like that. It's just a nice place to go down into, nice atmospheric place to go into for a single ability, and then, you know, obviously the environmental storytelling beyond that, and then you're done. No big boss encounter needed down here, because why would there be that much danger down here? This is our home, after all. I say, why would there be much danger down here, and the place is crawling with enemies as usual with other parts of this game, but you know what I mean. Since that's all we can do, there's nothing else to do but climb back up and out. Though, there might be one more thing to see on the way out that I will show. It is on the left side of this room. I think it is just above this part. You can see there's some lifeblood hanging out there. There's also a ledge up there. Can I make it? Yes, I can. Wow. You can go so high with the double jump. It's so fun. Deep blue stone atop a dice. Neat. I'll come back to this. We actually can do that right now. And should I do that right now? I might be able to do that right now. I'll decide in a bit. For now, let's get back up to the top and get back out of this place. There ain't no benches down here, so I don't feel safe down here anymore. And my bed has been taken up by... My bed down in my home has been taken up by the 50 bajillion other corpses. Hello there. Ghost, I see you face the place of your birth, and now drape yourself in the substance of its shadow. Though our strength is born of similar source, that part of you, that crucial emptiness, I do not share. Funny then that such darkness gives me hope. Within it, I see the chance of change. A difficult journey you would face, but a choice it can create. Prolong our world's stasis or face the heart of its infection. The two ending choices. We've seen one of those. We haven't seen the other one. I'd urge you to take that harder path, but what end may come, the decision rests with you. Oh, believe me, I am totally willing to take that harder path. What are your thoughts? It faced the void and ascends unscathed. Could it unite such vast darkness? Am I going to become the united void of Void America? I don't know. That's all you say. Nice little encounter we have. I like how she turns to follow you as you go. My God, words work today. Alrighty, to end this video, I was considering, oh my God, look, there it is, the Abyss. God, it's so huge. It's the majority, it takes up the majority of Ancient Basin. I love that though. I was considering going to take the flames back up to the troop, but I decided, you know, we gotta grub here, we gotta grub there, we gotta grub here and there and everywhere. We got this place we can go to, and then we have this secret to discover. So why don't I end this video by going to some of these places? Or perhaps even going to all of them. First of all, let's talk about the secret down in the Abyss. The weird door we saw was surrounded by lifeblood. What would happen if we brought in lifeblood health? Let me put this on so that I'm faster as I go back in, and let me also switch this on, and then let me also put this on. You know, to forgive Dreamwielder for me, or like, you know, to try to mend my ways with Dreamwielder after I kept throwing it aside throughout this entire video. Do not dash backwards. Quickest way to get to that blue door is to hang out at the left side, dodge those spikes, and you're here. When you possess lifeblood health, the stone will react and then start filling these up for each point of lifeblood health that you have. In order to unlock the way, you need to light all of them up. And to light all of them up, you need 15 lifeblood health. There's a couple ways we can do that. The easiest and my most recommended way of doing this is to equip Joni's Blessing. How many do I have right now? I think I'm actually just under with the amount of base health that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm missing one. Even with both of those on. To fix that, equip Fragile Heart. Since this raises the amount of base health you have, it will raise the amount of maximum health increase that Joni's Blessing gives you. So now we have a lot more than 15. Actually, I think like one more than 15, you know, still. I don't know if this is fully true. If it isn't true, then Joni's Blessing is actually required for this, and it's not just an option as I've been making it out to be. But I have a theory. It's possible to go around to every Lifeblood cocoon in the game, collect them, stock up all of the Lifeblood health that you get from them, not take damage the entire time, and then get down here and get through the door with 15 of them. I don't know if it's possible because I've never tried it, and if I did try it, I probably wouldn't be able to do it successfully. And I think that might also depend on some RNG with how much Lifeblood health the cocoons give you, because they either give you 2 or 3 at random. I think sometimes even... No, I don't think they ever give you 1, but they do give you 2 or 3 chosen randomly, so you'd have to depend on RNG a little bit as well, but it might be possible to do it that way. I'm not sure. In any case, though, this should be enough. This is a secret I never figured out how to access on my first playthrough, because honestly, how am I supposed to know that I'm supposed to bring Lifeblood health here? I get that, you know, it's surrounded by Lifeblood, but there just being a blue stone inside of this dais, that doesn't tell me anything about you have to bring Lifeblood here. That does not indicate that to me whatsoever. I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid, but yeah, this is one that I had to look up. Inside of the secret door is a weird little platforming challenge area. Sure hope you don't take too much damage on this part, because you can't heal anything if you bring Joni's Blessing in. We head further down. I think you there in the foreground, you're supposed to be attached to vines, but don't pay attention to that, it's fine. We have this beautiful ambience accompanying us once again. God, I love this ambience. Again, why isn't this in the Hollow Knight official soundtrack? I will go over this more in detail later, perhaps next time. Because next time will be when it's most applicable. Yeah, I have a bone to pick with that soundtrack, and I've been, like, storing it for the entire playthrough, but, you know, I'm still gonna wait a little bit longer before I go all out on it. Anyway. There we go. Gotta pick the right ways to go without hitting any of the spikes. It's easy to, like, walk off the edges and then instantly be hit by the spikes, so make sure you jump as you go off of them. In this place, I think you want to go this way first, unless you've taken a lot of damage and are now afraid of dying, because this way is optional, and you know how I am. Optional before required. I think there are spikes here eventually. No, they're not. Okay, good. Let's see. Yes, down here is an arcane egg, another one. We have 2 now to give to Lem, which I'll be doing as I make my way back out. Actually, that's gonna be quite out of the way from where I want to go. Where I want to go is Deepnest. I suppose we'll have to go back to him another time. Let's just put a marker over him for me to remember later. That's the main route that I actually skipped over by going for the arcane egg. Now, up here at the end is the item this all leads to. Before I pick this up, take a look in the background. A little hard to see, but you get the right angle on it. There are eyes blinking back there. Just gonna take this and go. You know what I was just saying about the place in Kingdom's Edge being the only part of the world that locks itself up completely and you can't return to later? I was wrong. There's 2. This is the second one. It's no longer unique. Lifeblood Core. Been a long time coming. That slot remains empty for so long, and it's weird that you need both of these to get it if you don't want to do the hard 15 lifeblood from around the world strategy, which I do not recommend doing. For 3 notches Anytime you rest at a bench, you have 4 lifeblood health to start out with. It's double the effect of this for only 1 extra notch in cost. Pretty good, especially if you put the 2 of them on together. It's 5 notches that are going to like 5 extra hit points before the beginning of any fight. So yeah, this is honestly not a bad combination, and it still lets you heal unlike Joni's Blessing would, because you still have your real health bar underneath all of that. So yeah, not too bad. And with that, we only have 3 charms left to get. That's pretty cool. Okay, emergency outro time. I decided that this video was getting a bit long, so I've just decided to cut it off early. Next time on Hollow Knight, I'm gonna enter Deepnest, go down the few paths we haven't explored, and then I'm gonna make my way around to the other shadow barriers around the world, see what's behind them, and then I might end by taking the second round of flames up to the Grim Troop. Thank you all for watching, if you did, and as always, I will see you all in the future.